Hello, everybody, welcome back. And this news has made me really motivated to actually record something for YouTube. And this time, it's Lurrus of the Dream then being banned in Modern. Okay, we won't talk about Pioneer Pauper here, that's not the focus. Modern. Now, the big question is, what does it mean for control in Modern, right? That's why you are here for. What does it mean for control? And I will tell you that some time ago I took this beautiful list to a top 8 of a 100-person paper tournament. Lurrus, Ragavan, Snappy, Archmage's Charms, bunch of control tools, right? It was great. I was super happy with the deck, and I thought I broke it. Now it's time to just win with control, and then a week later, donezo. So what does it mean? We've had these Grixis, Lurrus, Ragavans, shells with snap or without snap. Done. There was a blue-black deck, right, with like 4 snap, Lurrus, and just 3 deluges, like all control. Done, right? I played this deck before I jumped on Lurrus. And we might kind of have to go back to this. Kahira, Solitude, Teferi ending like this shell. However, there will be some changes in the metagame that's going to follow. What are the biggest winners? Cascade, for example, are the biggest winners. Amulet tie-in, right? Saga decks in general, I think. And so we have to rethink the way we approach this. So Chalice on the one hand loses because we won't have as many 1-2 mana density threats. So I think Chalice main deck is just off. However, because of the influx of Cascade, I think it will warrant its place as like a 1 or 2, if you're frisky, 3 off in the sideboard. Dresden will still have its merits because of Saga, and Spreading Seas will have its merits because of Saga. Very recently, the great Guillaume Wafotapa won a challenge. I think it was a clean 9-0 or 10-0 in a challenge, and he went with the Snapcaster Blue 8, and truth be told, that's what I'm interested in. I will be rocking this list probably, and while I would probably cut and change some stuff. For example, I wouldn't play the Wandering One. I wouldn't play Breeding Pool for like the 4th color. I don't think that's necessary. I like the list otherwise, and this might be a way to go, right? Now that 0 chalices here, but you could incorporate them because now, obviously, it will be Wild West, right? But if this list, right, went 9-0, we've got a very strong starting point, right? Unfortunately, I'm really sad. I bought this beautiful foil Lurrus very recently, and now it has to stay in a dusty deck box somewhere. But now, lack of Lurrus, yeah, because it means 2 things basically. One, we can't play Lurrus, and some of us did. Some of us did it, so that could change, but might not change anything for you. And it just shuffles up the metagame, because when your control deck was good against Lurrus decks, and now they disappear, now you've got nothing to be good against. And the previously best decks will probably rise to the top, and the question is how you line up against them, right? Now, also, you have to think about the decks below them. Right, so it has reshuffled in a way that now you have to be able to beat the decks that were tier 2 previously. Now they're tier 1, and then you have to be ready for the now tier 2, kind of. But it doesn't have to be the case, because there could have been some tier 3 decks held back purely because of Lurrus, and now they will resurface. In addition, and I think that's big, there will be a rekindling of passion for 3 mana permanents, right? Not spells, but permanents specifically. And is it good or bad again for us? Well, depends how you look at it, because Counterspell gets better, right? Because in a Lurrus meta game, Counterspell countered 1 or 2 mana spells. So it was at best parity, at worst it was trash. However, now with 3 mana spells like Hitetsugu, Seasoned Pyromancer, Liliana of the Veil, I don't know, Bloodbraid Elf, Jace the Mind Sculptor, with these cards coming back, Counterspell gets even better. Even better. And with that, that's why I personally really like Snapcaster Mage, because it will work perfectly with that. Now, as I said, one of the winners is Urza Saga, so I think much of our Otherworldly Light is going to be at its premium, because it can very easily tag those sagas for 1 mana, while being just an instant speed removal spell, which works with Snapcaster Mage, and it exiles for whatever that's worth. Now we've got, as I said, 3 mana permanent, so Prismatic Ending with 3 colors will be much better than it was previously, right? So now in your blue-white deck, you will have to play 1 Triumph, right? Blue-white, maybe Esper coming soon once we get the Triumph, but that's a different story. What else? I think that it's going to be very difficult to overall predict, because there could be Primeval Titan decks coming in, but then actually they could be like Belcher decks combating it, because now there might not be as many discard counter magic pressure decks. Grixis Death Shadow. But then on the other hand, some cards get Shadow unbanned, like Murktide Regent, because like you played Blue-Red Murktide without Lurrus because it didn't work together, right? Murktide and Lurrus, but Murktide was super good. And now you could play Grixis Death Shadow with some assortment of Murktides and maybe Street Wraiths. People might be coming back to Timil Battle Rage to be even more aggressive and more combo-y. So there could be a lot of things happening here. You have to know your deck. You have to know what you're doing. That's key, of course. Sideboard will be in flux, so don't worry. You will be changing your sideboard week to week probably, because you won't really know what's happening. Relic loses a lot, right? Veil probably loses a lot. But then again, who knows, right? Because people figured out you could play Shadow with Dress Down, which had already been legal, but it was discovered only after some time. Maybe now with Grixis Shadow, with Murktide and Street Wraith, it might still be super good, right? And now instead of losing to Lurrus on turn 5, you will be losing to Flying Dragons, right? And you will have to be able to combat both very big Flying Dragons and very big Shadows. But then again, that's a good thing for us, because we've got Solitude as hard removal, we've got Supreme Verdict as hard removal, so actually that should be pretty good for us. And we've got finally Ragavan covered because of March of Otherworldly Light, potentially going back to Esper with the new set coming up, Triumph, Fatal Push, and that kind of stuff. So to sum up everything I've said, unfortunately, we're ditching all the Lurrus control shells, which I've enjoyed immensely. I think we're ditching these kind of Chalice main deck shells. I think that's a thing of the past, and I think this-ish shell is going to be the thing forward. Now again, we are in the sandbox era, or honeymoon era of Modern now. Everything, no idea what's happening, but I think that control will firmly stay in at least tier 1.5 firmly, and we'll be just adjusting week to week. We've got such powerful tools: Snapcaster, Solitude, March ending, and almost unconditional white removal spells, Exile, very strong counter magic, which gains in strength because of the cost of spells being played. So I think overall, Control should be really happy about this ban. And yeah, I think that's it from me today. Thank you very much for watching. Follow me on Twitter to get the latest news, the latest deck list that I might be toying with. And as always, please remember to hold my hand and pass the turn together. And I will see you next time. Cheers.